Discord because I'll send you the raw footage. Stay on the line after we're done so we can just like debrief. Because that's always
Okay.
that's
Okay. Let me mute
okay. Yeah,
that.
yeah. All right.
Uh,
And so, for anyone that's tuning in, that's watching the replay, go ahead and fast forward through the first 6, maybe 8 minutes. This is just us getting technology on our side. So we're wrangling technology. We're wrangling. So we were talking about our backdrops, and as many of you know, that these are two rolly carts that have soundproof panels on them. So that's soundproof
I
panels.
love it.
And these are interesting things that people have said to me since the pandemic started. So
Oh,
this is like a quote board. So like some of it is, some of it is scripture, like joy comes in the morning. Um, Life is a game of enrollment. Remember the magic. This one was really cool. Magic is dressed up as hard work. So take that with you. Yeah. So then that's what that is. And then
I'm gonna
this.
need to go back and look at one of those.
Oh yeah, it's the whole thing. And then this is my late uncle. Uh, we had like a family greeting, and the family greeting, like you'd walk in the house and he'd like, we walk by faith, and then you respond not by sight. And so like he said this to us
Mm.
for years and years and years and years. And I think I bought him this t-shirt 10 years ago. And after he passed, I saw my aunt at Christmas and she was like, I brought this for you. And like, I haven't figured out where to put it. So like, I knew I wanted to like frame it, do the light box, all that kind of stuff. Cause it has a lot of meaning besides the Bible passage that was a way that we connected as a family, but also that my uncle is gone to, gone to glory. And yeah, so like, it was following me for a while where like I would put it down somewhere and like I would be having a bad day and then I would find the shirt. And it was just like moving around all these different places. So finally I just pinned it here until I can go and get it framed
It
how
was
I'd like.
following you for a reason
Ah,
so
yes,
that you could stay mindful. It
yes,
wasn't just following you just
yes,
because. It was
yes,
it was to keep you mindful. And it
yes,
was always timely. So it had to be around a time when you felt as though you were
yes,
struggling mentally or emotionally, and you
yes.
just needed that spiritual tap at the door.
There you go. And boom. And I needed
That's
that
why.
again today. And there you go.
Yeah.
So there
There
you
you
go.
go.
Timely. There you go. There it is. There it is. So, oh my goodness. It's so, I only see you on the internet. I miss like seeing you in person and like hugging you and stuff. So,
Now we are, yes. It's hard because then when we see each other, we're both so very busy in our own focus. We get a few seconds to hug, and we got to get together. We got to
we're
get
going to
together.
get literally, it's like, there she go. Shellie. Like she on her way out. I'm on my way in. That's
Yes, but it's always a good time when we do see one another.
yes,
Yes.
indeed. Yes, indeed. And I'm just so excited, to hear more about what you're working on. It's just like it's been inspiring to, when we met, maybe what was 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Hmm.
You're one of the first folks I met that in Seattle that I was like, yep, that one, keeping her.
Yes, and you definitely, I can say this for a fact, you definitely did, and we did, and so that's how we know that, well, we're supposed to stay tethered in some form,
Some kind of way.
some kind of way.
And so yeah, I think it's just been really exciting to like I see the updates. I'm like, oh, look at Shelly go, Shelly go, Shelly go, Shelly go. I'm like, oh, we need to have like celebratory something or other.
Girl, yes, sis, yes.
But that feels like it's gonna be a 2021 effort since
Well, I just say this: celebrate in the moments in which you see them. Give people their flowers now. Don't
yes,
wait, because
yes.
2020 was one thing, but 2021 might be another to behold. So don't sit around and say, "Ooh, I can't wait." I mean, we could talk more about that going in, but
Yes,
I
yes.
need people to change their perspective of what normal really is and start addressing some of these realities that we had to
Oh
face.
yeah, I had a whole like conversation about this that like we're not returning to normal. There will be a new normal, but like 2021 is going to be more of the same,
Hmm.
in the sense of like the economy is not going to rebound rather quickly. This virtual interaction is going to continue. The pandemics, you know, some folks didn't stay home at Thanksgiving, so that means we're gonna see a spike for Christmas. You know, and even just the way that we're doing business and the way that we're connecting with each other. But what we can change is ourselves. We can
Yes,
change our
yes.
approach to it. We can change our attitude about it. We can change the our mindset around it, because there are gifts in all challenges. There are
Right.
gifts, there are opportunities. And so like that's what I'm hot to trot about right now, is like helping more people see those opportunities and seize them. Um and make it
Yes.
happen. All right. 1 minute and counting. So prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Oh yeah. I I almost didn't sleep last night because I was like, I need to wear a feather boa and sequins. Shelly is coming. Shelly is coming, but you got my Christmas sweater.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I love that. Yes, yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes, ma'am.
Purchased with love from the Value Village. I spray it down with Febreze every year.
Honey, look, that is, you can find some really good deals. I didn't get into looking and doing things like that until, shopping at Value Village. You can find some really cool finds. People are
Yeah, I
giving up
went.
some really good things.
I went there specifically to get a Christmas sweater, and it did not disappoint. All right, it's 3 p.m., y'all. It's 3 p.m. We
Yes.
are officially live. So, hello, hello, hello. I am Keita Williams. I am the founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. Success Bully is an elite accountability practice, so that makes me your personal, professional butt kicker. So, before we jump into our spirited guest who's going to drop all types of knowledge on us, I do want to make a few announcements. Okay. And so, as you know, we do challenges from time to time. Our next challenge, the 5 days of focus for our aspiring corporate escape artists, starts on December 14th. So, now this particular challenge is dedicated to my side hustlers, my folks with side hustlers, side businesses, entrepreneurs in the making, where I'm going to share some of my best practices in success secrets on how to make that transition from corporate climber to full-time entrepreneur. So if
Mm.
you are interested in up leveling your business, bringing in that revenue so that you can submit your resignation letter, then you want to go ahead and register for the 5 days of focus, and you can do that at successbully.com/challenge. Some of the things we're going to be covering, because I'm clever, this has a theme. So this is for our aspiring corporate escape artists. So day one is going to be all about casing the joint. So I'm going to ask you to look at your cash flow. We're going to look at where's the money coming from and how to make more of it. Day two is find your mark. So we're going to understand that revenue flight plan to freedom. Day three, we're going to plan our caper. So we're going to put together your comprehensive escape plan so you can live a cubicle free life. And day four, we're going to enlist a few accomplices. So most people don't understand that entrepreneurship is a team sport. You may be in business by yourself, but you are not by yourself. So it is critical that you surround yourself with a supportive community that not only holds you accountable, but offers strategy. And that happens to be something we do really well here at Success Bully. And then day five, we're going to make sure you get away with it. So we're going to give you our tips on where your focus goes, your money grows. So I'm going to give you some of my tips on your fine tuning your MMA. So that's your money making activities. Oftentimes, as entrepreneurs, we forget that sales and revenue is the lifeblood of your business. So until you sell something, you are an eccentric hobbyist. I said it. Be mad at me later. Y'all can be mad at me because you got a business and you ain't making no money. You're a hobbyist. All right. So, so make sure that you register, because then we will get your workbook to you ahead of time. You want to make sure that you connect with your concierge. Monica and CC are your concierges. So look for a friend request from Monica. Look for a friend request from CC. They will tag you in the comments, and they will let us know what letters of the alphabet they are responsible for. So yes, get involved, sign up, claim your spot early. You want to make sure that if you are even toying with the idea of taking your business to that place where you can comfortably walk away from your job, then you definitely want to tune into this. All right. And so now that I'm off my soapbox and I'm like winded, I got all
No,
excited.
I'm gonna just tell you, you spitting bars today. Okay,
Wait,
you are
wait.
spitting bars. When I tell you, you are the rapologist of entrepreneurship, I'm gonna need you to just go on and take that title and
There
walk
you go.
with it.
All I need is a beat. All I need
Mm-hmm.
is a beat. So now that I've dropped bars, I'd like to welcome Shellie D. Willis to the show. Shellie is one of these magical people that we met a few years ago, and like immediately I was like, "Yep, Shellie, gotta keep in contact, stay in her circle." Because Shellie's doing things. So I want to give you a little more info about Shellie so you can understand what kind of awesomeness you're about to get. And so, after retiring from the U.S. Army after 25 years of service, starting over seemed daunting and extremely stressful for Shellie. Everyone doesn't just come out of the military and land their dream career or start the business of their dreams or continue their education immediately. And this experience for Shellie created a compelling why. So, and most retired military identify themselves with where they served, whether it as was a soldier, sailor, airman, marine, or coast guardsman. I can speak today. Their voices and identities were aborted when those roles were left. And so she realized that after retiring, that many women were experiencing the same thing she was. Right. And so over the last 6 years, Shellie has been working in workforce development with a focus on veteran initiatives. She currently serves as the Senior Director of Workforce Systems Alignment and Military Initiatives in Tacoma, Washington, where she has been immersed on the state and local levels as an active participant with the governor. Okay, y'all. Inslee talks to Shellie. And she's appointed for military transition and the Readiness Council. Shellie discovered that as a servicewoman like herself, didn't realize they were a highly underrepresented demographic, a demographic within a demographic. So, with this clear vision and conviction, Shellie set out to support other women as they transition. And in 2016, she founded the nonprofit Redefining You Foundation. Right. And her foundation is a community for transitioning servicewomen and military spouses, providing them access to local, regional, and national resources, right? So Shellie has a full plate. So she's working full time. She's running a foundation. She's actively involved in her community. She's a mom to some awesome kids. She is a wonderful wife. Shellie got it all going on. So Shellie, now that I've like done the thing, share a little
Okay.
bit. What about your background do you want to share with this spirited community?
Man, you've shared like
I did the whole thing.
bits and pieces of it. I mean, we could walk the gamut of it, but it is I would say the actual culmination of parts of me that have assisted in defining me and redefining me again and again and again. And so it's actually helped in multiple ways to really just shape who I am and where I'm going is what it is.
I love it. So when you were in the military, what was your driving force? And then how did your driving force kind of change as you transitioned out?
My driving force in the military was simply to grow people, be the best people investor that I could be. And what I did not realize was happening is that I was being positioned in different ways and had different assignments and different opportunities to reinvest and to be able to be almost, to be a mentor, to be a coach, to teach, coach, and mentor. That's what I was, non-commissioned officer all day, every day, and be able to grow people. That was one of our mantras that we had in the finance corps. And so that actually continued even beyond service. So it just kind of resonates with me, the reinvestment of others, because we're taught to grow people because you're taught to move up, right? You're taught you're going to get promoted. So you should be training your replacement, right? While you're thinking 2 steps ahead, you're training and preparing your replacement. Now that's a great mindset to have, but it's not necessarily it doesn't translate into the civilian world as well.
Right. True. True.
So you could have that idea of wanting to reinvest and grow people, and that's great. But the outcomes of that may not be as smooth as it was in the military, because you knew your whole goal was that you wanted to get promoted, you wanted to grow, and what you were responsible for doing is investing in others and training those up so that they could be the next you. And that definitely was not something, a skill set that could translate over into, I believe, the corporate world, into the civilian sector. It seemed more of a competitive nature in a way that we're not all trying to come up. So it wasn't necessarily a mindset that I had to reshape it. I had to find a different way, a different approach, so that it didn't seem as though I was, coming after somebody, trying to take their spot.
Right. It wasn't so putting a different spin on that. So then what I found exceptionally fascinating about your military experience was that you were a drill sergeant at one point. And so, like, how did that impact your leadership skills and your styles? Because I feel like you're motivating people to do what they don't want to do under intense pressure. So how does that show up for you now?
It shows up greatly. Actually, we always talk about how you have to, when you're planting something, you've got to till the soil. You've got to work it, right? Cultivate the soil. Those were my cultivating years. I believe that those were my years of growth, where I could, make mistakes and just not realizing it at the time. Not until now, as I've transitioned out of the military and I've had, multiple missteps of my own. I believe that those were the years where I was being like teed up, tapping into that untapped talent that I didn't realize I had, giving me voice, giving me boldness, a level of awareness, intentionality, all of those things that now I look back and I said, I was being groomed for this. I was being, I was being cultivated for this. Those were just opportunities that God set up for me to be able to, from being a drill sergeant to being an instructor, being invested in to teach, coach, and mentor, and to train others. So it's as I look over the journey, and I'm always reflecting differently, I'm like, man, that was a straight setup. Like, I was being set up for this, but it's good. And I was, your skin gets thick. You take your personal emotions out of a decision. You're learning how to make decisions from a different mindset. So you're learning and you're growing, and you're not really realizing it then. It's not going to be until later that you realize, wow, not just saying that you were a drill sergeant or you were an instructor or you made it to the senior level in leadership, whatever, not just for that. It's also so that when you get to certain points in your life, you can think back and say, I either had this experience, or now I know why so-and-so, this is why I had this experience, or so-and-so took me through it. And now here I am, 5-10 years later, I'm not in the military anymore, but it resonates with me because those were training moments. Those were cultivating moments. And
cultivating moments. I love
those were cultivating moments.
Okay. So let's, I'm deviating for a second.
Yes.
Let's talk about decision making.
Okay.
Let's talk about decision making. I'm throwing a Hail Mary over here. Decision making.
Okay.
I heard this really awesome quote today that has been kind of following me all day. So I want to discuss it with you because I respect your opinion. The idea of, when making decisions out of fear and making decisions out of faith. So making a decision out of fear is like what you can't see or what you're trying to hold on to, right? You're making it because you're scared, or making a decision out of faith where you're stepping up. You don't necessarily see it, but you're stepping up and stretching, having the faith that it's going to work out. So what are your thoughts on that decision-making style between fear and faith?
You're still having faith, even if you go in fear.
Ooh,
you still have faith, even if you go in fear. It doesn't mean, you're always going to be a little bit nervous about every decision, naturally.
Do it scared. That's what I say.
Do it scared. So, but fear, if fear were the ruler, then you would never move. But if you're moving and you're scared at the same time, that's faith. That's going forward, doing it anyway, because you still don't know what the outcome is going to be. No. You just know you see it. or you
Mhm.
see glimpses of it, or you just have this feeling, right? And so
Mhm.
you want to dive in anyway. God, I don't know. I'm just going, God, I'm trusting you. I'm moving. Like, oh Lord, but you're doing it anyway. But for some people in those two decision points, in those decision making, the fear and faith, fear it would really paralyze them.
Mhm. Right.
Then that's not faith.
Agreed. Agreed. So,
That's just fear, period.
and I think that yeah, I say that you don't need to be 100% courageous. You don't need to be 100%
No,
courageous. It's like
no.
60 to
You're
90.
gonna be most of the time you're gonna be 95% crazy. But you're gonna do it anyway. You've
Yes.
done all the things. You've talked to your brain trust. And when you talk to your brain trust, your board of trustees, everybody on your board serves a different purpose. But the one thing they all have in common is that they either will press go or press stop on you, because regardless of what their role is on your board of trustees, your brain.
Okay, now we got to talk about that. Let's talk about this board of trustees. Let's talk about
Yeah.
this board of trustees. So, like, explain to me, like, how have you cultivated your board of trustees? Like, how have you nurtured those relationships, and how do you show up for each other? Because this is your personal board of trustees, correct?
Right. I
Yeah.
mean,
Okay.
they're my personal board of trustees, but they know all aspects of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like I do of them. And they can call me and no one will know I had a conversation about anything with them. I hold them accountable just like they hold me accountable. And sometimes there are arguments, there are disagreements. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
not comfortable. These are not the people that make you feel good. These are
No.
not the people that make you happy and smile all the time. That's not who they are, but they are very, very important in your life, especially when it comes to making decisions that are huge, that could really change the trajectory of your life. So, and they hold you accountable. I think the biggest word is they hold you accountable. They don't sugarcoat it for anything, and they give it to you straight, no chaser. And that's what I want. I want what I'm serving.
Oh yeah. I have a whole stand, accountability is what we do here. But like your accountability partners, community that you're building, they're not supposed to make you feel good. They're supposed to make
No.
you feel uncomfortable. They're supposed to hold your
Mhm.
feet to the fire. They're supposed to be that friend that's going to be honest with you. I don't need my friend that's going to be like, come on, girl, let's get a margarita. It'll be all right. I need
That person probably isn't on your board of trustees
no.
anyway. They just, you
Good
got the
friend. You can hang
center,
out.
first tier, second tier, third tier.
outer rings. But like, I think it is important that when you are especially setting out for these big goals, right,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
these big game changing things in your life, that you surround yourself with those people that are going to be straightforward with you, that are going to support you through the journey, that are going to
Yes,
encourage you, but also call you on your stuff.
exactly.
Because most of the
Exactly.
time we are our biggest we are
Inner me.
yes,
Inner me.
enemy. Go on, tell me more. What's the enemy?
We are
Tell us
our
more.
biggest enemy. Like, said the devil gets tired of us lying on him saying he made us do it. No, it's the inner me.
Ooh,
Why something happened. It's the inner me. That's why I always tell people, even in the foundation, it's all about dealing with that stuff that's sight unseen. It's
right.
all about the stuff you suppress, the things you're not dealing with, the things you don't have the capacity to face or not, which is why 2020 was necessary more than people think.
Oh yeah, it was a
Yeah.
resetting for a lot of
A
myself included.
reality setting. It
Yes,
was. It
a
was.
reality setting.
It was a reality setting, and I'm saying it as a witness. I'm like, oh yeah, things that you have to just face and deal with. And what I want to say about the people who are on your true board of trustees, they come from a place of love, and that you may not like what they say,
Hmm.
but they're saying it out of love. They may or may not know one another, but they're all going to do the same. They're going to approach you in a way to give you the coaching and the resolve that you need. And sometimes they may not help you make the decision. They'll tell you to sit with it and make it yourself.
Oh, there you go. Sometimes sit with it and make it yourself. I love it. So this quote really stood out for me in some of the background material you sent over by one of your mentors. Leading by example does not take many words.
Mm.
So, like, what does that mean to you, and how do you live that?
It's what you do.
Mm.
You can
Mhm.
talk to you can talk to your guest. I can talk all day. I love to connect with people, but it's what you do, and it's what you do that people don't see, because
Mhm.
that even resonates with people. People, I'm watching. I'm observing. I'm
Mhm.
just seeing. I hear you. We talk, we have meetings, I have our little kiki moments or whatever, but I'm watching you.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
watching what you're doing. And that is really important, because you can't treat people a certain kind of way privately and then make yourself look like a goddess publicly. You
Mhm.
just can't
Mhm.
do people any old kind of way where nobody will see, and then everybody sees you and just laws at your feet, but they don't know how you really treat people, right? Or how
Mhm.
you talk to people, or how you don't operate under a level of conviction, or you're kind of off-putting or whatever. And then, when you're in public, everybody's got this whole, so it's
Mhm.
like those things have to match. And if you're someone that is a mentor to me, I'm watching all of that,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh
There's a
yeah.
difference. Yeah.
So then, how do you recommend our viewers approach leadership, whether it's in their corporate careers or their side hustles? Like when you're thinking about that leading by example, that it's about what you do. How would you recommend they approach their roles, their leadership roles?
Understand that everybody's life path isn't yours,
Oh, get it.
and every decision that you made may not be the decision they need to make. So understand that
Hmm.
telling them that their decision was wrong is based off of an experience you had may not be the best course of action. Um, be able to be open,
Hmm.
listen, listen.
Mm.
Sometimes, understand that your presence has power. It's not about your words, but your presence has more power. So are you there in those moments of critical need? Are you teaching them how to prioritize by prioritizing yourself? I always tell people I'm the worst. Organization for me is woo-wee, so I've had to really dial in on, I've got to clean up. I've got to break off pockets of time. I'm trying to structure my time, our calendars, like we were talking earlier.
Hmm.
I'm demanding respect for my time. I'm also in turn doing that for others. But as a leader, just leading by example means in all things, show them your imperfections.
Oh, get into
People
it.
like to, show them your imperfections. Especially now more than ever, if you're struggling, some people will literally put you on a pedestal and tell your story their way, and they have no idea that you were at home. Not saying that they need to know you cry every night, or you're struggling,
Hmm.
but there are moments of imperfection. They need to know that that's possible, that that'll happen to them.
Hmm.
Well, you
And it,
didn't have this happen to you and you, and it did.
mhm.
So show
and
them your imperfections.
and you can achieve a lot being an imperfect human, being
Yeah.
delightfully human, and
Yes.
surrounding yourself with people that make you better, or
Mm-hmm.
that fill that gap where you're weak, they're strong.
Right.
So, oh my goodness. So I want to talk about, because I was loving all the gowns and the sashes and the tiaras and
Oh, you
whatnot.
want to? Oh, Miss Better in America.
Yes,
Yes.
let's talk about it. So why this? Why now?
So I've been, over the past couple of years, I've seen it, and this kind of hit me. I was like, this is in great alignment with what I'm already doing. And I
Hmm.
wanted to be able to do more for our women veteran community. And this was specifically for homeless women veterans, and the organization that puts it on, Final Salute Inc. It's just in the founder of that organization. It's just been it's just was alignment for me overall.
Hmm.
It was just alignment. And so, how we can have a focus on something, but we don't know how to serve all of it, which you
Right.
can't do that. But to have the wisdom and knowledge that I've gained from the challenges that our homeless women veterans face,
Hmm.
it just made sense. I talked to my husband, I asked him, and he said, well, why wouldn't you? And a lot of people would say, why would you? And I'm like, why not? Why not do something more? Because it gives you more opportunity. It gives you a larger platform. It
Hmm.
gives you a bigger voice to speak even, more intelligently about the challenges and the unique challenges that women veterans face. People see women veterans and they think of a multitude of things, and sometimes that doesn't even include calling them a veteran. And so
Right.
been a part of the narrative and the journey that women who are currently serving don't know that they're going to have to take. So it is important that for all of the women veterans that are out there, that you claim your space by letting people know that you serve too. Instantly upon exiting the service, you are a veteran, right? So you finish. Not that no one's asking if you went to combat, you served. That's the point. And so fast forward, just been on this whole year's journey. It's started in January, and competing met a group of wonderful, wonderful sister warriors who have been doing this great work as well. And we all work independently in our communities. And then, October 11th was blessed to be a part of the current Miss Veteran America 2020 court. And I am very pleased with my sisters that I'm serving with this year. And we have a great deal of work ahead of us. The work starts after, everybody thinks the work is now. And so we are really working on some great programs and projects that we're launching to really bring awareness to our homeless women veteran community. And I'm hoping to be able to get them here to Washington State. I always brag on Washington State a lot about what we do here and how we are we're military ready state. We're not a friendly state, we're a ready state, which incorporates the friendliness, but we have the infrastructure to be ready to support our military families. And so that's the difference. You can be friendly and not ready. We are ready in Washington State.
Friendly and not ready. So then how have you incorporated this into your already full plate?
It actually has given me a lot of leverage. Now I'm going to be pushing out to speak to some of our legislators and educate them on our homeless women veteran needs. I am now a new member of the Washington State Women Veterans Advisory Committee. And so I'm excited I'm looking forward to getting my appointment letter to that. And we work, we really serve at the will of our women in Washington State. I know there's over like 70,000 women veterans here. But we have so much work to do, and we can do better by our women veterans through healthcare, through services, and all the things that we have to offer, especially being able to be of outreach and support for our homeless women veterans so they know what services are available to them. And it's really important that our legislator understand how much more they could do. Last year, our fight and our argument around at 2019 was around just getting a license plate. And it died on the Senate floor. We didn't get a license plate. And it seems minute, but it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. So we're going to continue. And now that I have the privilege of having this title, I'll be able to use it here in Washington State in a way in which to educate and inform and to hopefully make some change happen here in Washington State as well, and how we support our women veterans.
I'm so proud of you. So in addition to, you are the CEO and founder of Redefining You Foundation. So tell us more about it. Tell us how we can support. And what is your big, hairy, audacious goal with your foundation?
Wow. So you read our mission earlier. It's really all about supporting our women veterans and military spouses in their next, addressing those personal challenges that women are going to face. What you don't realize is this. As women, we serve and suppress at the same time. So while we're sitting out here being the super whomever what to everybody, we don't have time to deal with things. We don't have time to process things all the time. So you're serving and suppressing at the same time. And for those of you who think you have it all together, I'm here to tell you, you don't. You do not. There are things that are going to bubble up in you well after you've transitioned out of the military that you are going to either not want to address, or it's going to be challenging for you to address because we just suppressed and we kept moving. Suppress, keep moving. And so that's the activity. But for us at RYF, we're dealing with those personal challenges. So we host a 2-day symposium, and that is really about breaking you down. I mean, we're going into all of the personal infrastructure and ripping it down. And we're talking about accountability. We're talking about those things that you're challenged with. What are the things that you need to heal? Because you can't do anything, not even get a new career, if you are still dealing with trauma, if you're still dealing with your own personal challenges. So in order for you to be successful or want to have whatever your measure of success is, we need you to do the work so you can be a better you. So it's all about a better you. And day one, we break it down, we address it. And day two, we create a blueprint for you, your vision, your foundation for yourself. And we address the 4 areas in your house that you need to really pour into: community, finance, life strategy and coaching, and of course, wellness. Those are critical areas that people don't think you need. And so you do need those areas. And as women, we want you to have a resounding voice for yourself. Big, hairy, audacious goals. Our goal this year was to fundraise so that we could get our scholarship set up. We want a scholarship, women, so that they can get to their next. So whatever your next is, do you need to finish that last class? Do you need to get that license to start that business? So do you need to get training, entrepreneurship training and growth? What do you need to do? Whatever it is that you need. The scholarship it's still our big, hairy, audacious goal to be able to create the scholarship portion of our foundation so that women could compete for that and put in for that. And we can help you accomplish whatever you need to get to your next so that you can continue to grow and go. And that's the goal.
I love this. Get to your next. Tell me like, where did that phrase come from, and how are you inspiring more people around getting to your next? Because I think we get so focused on one thing that we forget that we can be a number of things.
Well, over time we've cleaned it up. It's like, what does next look like for you? Does that mean you want to travel the world? Well, let's talk about how much that's going to cost. Where do you want to go? How do you want to get there? Those things. I don't care what it is. If you want to be a pinwheel maker, you're going to be the best pinwheel maker in the world. Let's figure out what that is. But in order for you to really understand what that is, that has to align with your purpose. Now we talk about purpose all day long. What is your purpose? What is it that you want to do with yourself? And the answers you probably hear, I don't know what my purpose is. What do you mean? You don't know. You know why? Because we haven't taken time out for ourselves to really
answer that
question. And there's a multitude of trainings, programs, all of that to help you get to you define your purpose for yourself, whatever your vision is. But at the end of the day, you need to sit back and sit with yourself, and you really need to write down.
Sit back and sit with yourself. I hope that's in the comments. Did we capture that in the comments?
You really do.
I do think that, and I yell this from the mountaintops, like we go big on goal setting and accountability, but like one of the things that people don't do is write down their goals and then write down the plan to get there, and like, yes, purpose, write that too. Everything needs to be out of your head.
You need the foundation. You need your foundation. It's like, why do I want to do this? Why is this hitting? Like, why is it resonating with me so deeply? Some people change whole careers. People, and this is not just for the military. There are career professionals out there. They were lawyers. They ran corporate, and then they decide, I want to open a bakery. Why? Because that gives me peace. That's what I want. Okay. And I'm going to tap into my network. I've got these skill sets, and I'm going to write this business plan. I'm going to start this business. And everybody thinks you're crazy, but so many great things come from crazy moves. So many great things come from crazy moves.
As the owner of a crazy move, like, girl, you gonna quit your good job? Yeah. You gonna quit your good job? What you doing?
You're walking away from 6 figures? But you have so much peace. And it's not, and also I need people to understand your purpose does not have to be altogether perfect. Don't let anybody make you finesse it. It needs to make sense to you. And what happens over time, your pitch perfects, your why perfects, how you want to get there perfects. And you're going to stumble along the way. But next is whatever it looks like for you. It could be anything. It could be getting up out of the bed in the morning. When I'm talking with my women veterans and spouses, sometimes it's about being able to lift my head off the pillow. That's my next. That's the next goal I need to achieve. Can I get up out of this bed? Can I get up out of this moment of depression? Can I move forward? Can I get up off this couch? Can I step away from the refrigerator? What does it look like?
Yeah. And those I do think that purpose, I feel like my purpose has deepened over time.
Yes.
Right? Like what I
Yes.
thought was the driving force has shifted a little bit as,
Mm-hmm.
I've continued to step out in faith and stretch.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotten bigger and deeper. Put it
But
that way.
that's happened because of what you're learning.
Yeah,
That's
and
your
moving
growth.
forward, yeah,
Yes.
and then moving forward,
Yes.
and I think that the confidence part of it,
Yes.
and that like even those little baby steps boost that confidence, and
Every
so
step
like
matters.
what I thought 4 years ago, this little what I thought I was gonna do,
Mm-hmm.
and then the confidence building over showing up time after time, getting beat up, standing back up, getting back up, get going, seeing some successes, seeing the bottom fall out, seeing this, and keeping going. It is just
Yes.
stretched.
It
So
is. It is. And let me tell you, I use this at work. I'm a systems person. So I think in processes
yes,
and every process is crazy. It may not even make sense. And every process is a love language. Every system doesn't operate by itself. There's collaborators, there's co-conspirators in your
hello,
system. Think about what your system looks like. I don't need just accountability partners. I need co-conspirators. That's what I need.
hello.
Co-conspirators. I need that. I need that level of co-conspiracy. And I need champions, and I need people who are going to speak for me when I'm not present. I need to make sure that the minute I feel something in my spirit that's not right about you, that's my cue that I need to redefine the relationship and go another direction. That's easy. That sounds easy, but it's not easy for everybody. They need that confidence. I wish I could just bottle up. I hear this all the time. Shellie, I wish I could just bottle that up. And honey, it's right there in you.
Tap
You need
into
to
it.
start exercising it like any other muscle in our body. Confidence, boldness, heightened sense of awareness. These are muscles. These are memory muscles. These are activity muscles that we have to start to work time and time again. It's taken me a long time to get, you've always been able to be like that. No, I haven't, because I had to stop speaking military speak. And then I had to get into this culture and civilian world. And then I had to network, which was natural, but I was always nervous. And then the more, like you said, I got comfortable, I got confident. I wasn't always well received. Sometimes this is a lot for everybody. I don't spoon feed people. I just give it to you. This is what you get.
I'm like asparagus. I am a acquired taste.
But what I was telling people, and I used this at work. We had a staff meeting, and I did it at our leadership team retreat, and I brought it to the staff meeting. And I said, this is what I need y'all to understand. In the military, they teach us that failure is not an option. It could be catastrophic. Wrong mindset. Definitely the wrong mindset. But understandable considering what we do every day. But what I told them at work was, make failure your new philosophy towards freedom. Make failure your new philosophy towards
Can someone capture
freedom.
that in the comments so I can put it on the quote board behind me?
Make failure your new philosophy towards freedom. Embrace it so much so that when you fail, the only thing you're going to do when you get back up, because sometimes it might be a 1-2 punch, the only thing that you're going to want to do when you're done is pull it apart and say, okay, what did I do right? Not what did I do wrong? Just what went right? What was right? Okay. All right. So let's take this and then let's reshape it over here and then let's go. And your rebound will start being quicker. Your rebound will start being quicker when you start to embrace it. Failure is not an ugly word. We gave it way too much power. We give words way too much power. They take on these negative connotations and we cannot move. You are paralyzed.
Listen, I try to fail at least 3 times a week.
I have been just so you know, I've been on a roll. I have never felt more complete than I have these last 5-6 days. I have really come together, honey. It has come together. Yes.
Well, I think the idea of, so besides what went right, I think, what did you learn?
Yes. What did you learn?
What did you learn? Because some of my most profound learnings were in those moments of failure. or in the, okay, like that didn't go as planned. Okay, what did we learn? Because we can't do the same thing over and over again and
Right.
expect different outcomes.
Insanity. Can we just
Insanity. Total insanity. But
Insanity.
even like in the space of entrepreneurship, there are so many things that you got to test and iterate.
Iterative change is good. Iterative change means iterative learning. And you will, if you go up the love time continuum and you never check anything, you just do your thing, and then you're all the way up here on the love time continuum. And then you present it and that thing don't work right.
No.
That's the worst feeling in the world.
Like, I put all this effort in. Oh yeah. Okay. But I will say, like, my first year of entrepreneurship, and you followed the whole storyline. That, like, year one was a lot of crying. It was a lot of crying because it was just like, I don't know it. Year two, it was like, all right, that ain't work. Okay, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Year three, it was like, I don't know. I think year three, year four, y'all can't tell me I ain't no CEO. Like, y'all can't tell me. And so, like, but I think that, like, that bounce back piece. So, like, when things would go off the rails in year one, the bounce back would take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Year two, it was like, girl, you got 2 days. You contractually obligated to pull yourself together. Year three and year four, I don't actually have a lot of time to grieve a failure.
That is so true, because I'm in it now. It's like, I'm in it now. So it's kind of like,
if I wanted to,
what am I going to do? Yes, what am I going to do? It's the level of resiliency that people have built up. You don't really realize how resilient you are until you have to bounce. Like, you don't even have time. I don't have time to sit around and mourn this or grieve this. I love that you brought up the word grieve, because there is a process for everything. Everything lives, everything dies, and the cycle starts over again. You've got to do it again. Having those great ideas. For instance, I have an epic failure. I know I was the driver, and then I was thinking, I was like, I dropped the ball. Let's reassess and reset. I'm going to have to send an email. We got to reset. This is not going to work. We're going to have to do it again, do it another time. I'm okay with pushing something back. It's going to happen, right? And so you just have to give yourself space and grace. You have to love on yourself like no other, but you also have to say, girl, I got to get up. Shellie, I have to get up. Girl, get up. You got to get up.
You got to pull it together.
Pull it together. And what do I do in these moments? What do I do in these moments? And how do I reset and get myself going again? And I think sometimes in these moments, this is the time. I've been saying this has been some of the most creative opportunity. This has been a lot of people they couldn't get back to work. I work in workforce development. They couldn't get back to work, or they were able to get back to work and then they got laid off again. But what I've been seeing is a lot of businesses being started, a lot of entrepreneurship happening, a lot of people tapping into their passion and their purpose. They're going from hobbyist to entrepreneur. So I love that. Meaning, I do this because it's a hobby. And then next thing you know, your hobby becomes your money-making machine. And then I always tell people, look, what do you love? Monetize those gifts. Don't monetize those gifts and stop letting people prostitute your talent. Make sure.
Woo!
Make sure.
Woo! That one came in hot. That came in one more time, Shellie, for the people in the back.
I said to monetize your gifts and stop allowing people to prostitute your talent. Stop it. Even me. I love the people I have. And and I don't care how you want to do it. If it's an exchange or if it's I pay my own daughter. She's a photographer. How much does this cost? Invoice me.
Right. And don't give me the family discount.
There is none. There is no friends and family discount. You have Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You have several other days during, you can have a Memorial Day sale. You can have you can have July 4th sale. Choose those days to give 5 and 10% discounts. But whatever you do, And I mean, whatever you do, make sure that you put a dollar sign on it. Put a dollar sign on your time. Put a dollar sign on your time. I said this a while back, and I mean it in every which way. Put a dollar sign on your time.
Okay. I believe that I have no less. I got to buy some more cards so I can add you to the board. Okay, so like this is a perfect segue. Let's talk about time because we were kind of talking about it in our preamble. And so understanding that you have a full corporate career, you are Miss Veteran America 2020. You have your family, you have your community, your work you do in the community. How do you keep it all in balance, and how do you protect your time? What's your hacks for that?
I want everybody to know I'm the Miss Veteran America 2020 second runner up. I don't want to get.
You're still a winner to me. You're a winner to me.
I want to quit that. But okay, so how do I block off my time? So at work, I found a function on Outlook. This it analyzes your time and it blocks off time. So that was for work. That's what I did. But what I found myself doing was allowing people to encroach on that time. So now I say no. If you see focus time on my calendar, pick another time. Pick another time. My focus time is usually an hour to 2 hours. If it's on Outlook, it's an analyzer. But when it comes to, I'm here at my brand, I'm here at this house all the time. And so I have no commuting time. I have no breakaway. So I had to build in my time of separation from the devices and the interwebs. So we don't have, yes. So it really had to became a health matter. And I had to become more aware of the fact that I wasn't stepping away. My body was kind of feeling like it was going into rigor mortis. I wasn't giving myself time. So I started being intentional, meaning at least 2 to 3 times a day during my work day, whether it's 15 minutes or 30 minutes, I literally step away, go in the living room, cut on the TV, maybe read a book, do something, not a task for something else. Right, so this don't mean pick up something else. It just means that I had to start, read a book or, watch. Right now it's the Hallmark Channel. I love me some Christmas specials and, or catch up on something that I recorded and I didn't get to watch, just anything to just calm my mind. And sometimes what it does is it helps me to reset what what I might've been stressed about. It calms me down. I've even invested in adult napping. So there's plenty of activities that you can do. Adult napping.
Yes. You have to follow the nap ministry.
Yes.
The nap ministry. They have lots of tips for this.
I'm encouraging people. I said this adult nap is everything. Even if it's 30 minutes, that is the best 30 minutes in your life. Let me tell you something.
Take you a nap. Take a whole nap. Okay. Nap. Lightning round.
Okay.
Here's our readers.
Yes.
What are you reading?
Okay. So, oh my goodness. I just picked up The Way of the Warrior. It's back here. That's why I look back, want to make sure. So it was recommended to me. So I'm going to pick that book up and read that book, The Way of the Warrior. And there was something back there I want to read. I want to grab it.
Okay, hold on. Don't hurt yourself. Hold on. Grab a tiara while you're at it. No? Okay, no tiara.
No, this is not protocol. But what Drew, so Cordelia Yoakum recommended this book. And if you haven't, I have to do a shameless plug for her book from the Core. If you haven't read her book, it's over here as well, From the Core. But The Way of the Warrior, and what it said back here was, the battle is fierce. It rages around us, but also inside us. Sometimes the greatest enemies, the greatest challenges we face are within. By following the code of the warrior, freedom awaits, along with your most powerful future. And if you do follow me, then you know that I was just a part of an amazing group of speakers called the VUCA Principle. And it's a military principle, but we flipped it on its script. I did that with Mike Schindler. And we went from a volatility to vitality, to being overcomers, to talking, so there we hit VUCA in a different way. And
VUCA?
So you could look up the VUCA Principle, and it's only taught at the War College.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, you throwing words around that we don't know here.
VUCA, you can look it up.
The VUCA Principle.
Yes, but I'm tossing that out there just to say that, you know, the way of the warrior is it's a road to inner peace. And I think that right now a lot of people need it's for an ancient path for inner peace, but I think it's a good reset. I mean, leaders are readers, but you don't have to always be reading books on leadership. You need to be reading books on things that are really going to expand your mindset around how you approach things. How do you find inner peace in yourself? Sometimes when you're always the driver in the car, you don't get a break. So how are you giving yourself breaks? I'm not reading any leadership books or any culture books right now. I have them in my cabinet, but I'm not reading them. I just decided I need to pick something up that's going to really speak to me. And a warrior principle and being able to talk about transformation within yourself. We've been talking about self-mastery. So let's use that term, self-mastery. How do we have genuine self-mastery and give ourselves the space and grace that we need? So this is the book that I picked up that I said, this is the book I'm going to read. My classes end on December 13th. And this is the book that will get my attention. So,
all right. So last question. Well, I got two more. So like we often talk about the double-edged sword of being brilliant. And that double-edged sword.
I think I'm brilliant.
Of course you're brilliant. But like when you're brilliant, you never run out of ideas.
No, I don't. I never run out of ideas, but I do have people that will put me in park.
There you go. Put you in park. So that was my question was like, what are your tips for narrowing your focus? Is that relying on
people that will put you in park? That's great. Put that in the parking lot.
Put that in the parking lot.
Yes, that's great. But we still haven't addressed this over here. So you want, my person is Eve Tuyon. So if she's not watching, just so you know, you need, as a matter of fact, I just want to share this really quick. I know we're not lightning round. So the power of saying no is powerful. I went to the Black Communities Conference in 2019. It was 2019 when we went. And I learned, I was in a session and it was about Black women and why we don't rest. I think this is important to know. You know, our historical reasons for not resting or what rest looked like to the Black woman over generations. What does rest look like? For some, that meant just being able to wash dishes and hum gospel spirituals, multiple ways. But I got to speak to the speaker and we talked. I said, I didn't get to talk to you about the power of saying no because she brought it up and I didn't get to share it. But she said she had to learn how to say no. And the reason why was because she had an assistant and her assistant, her partner, she said, asked her a question, what picks brains? Because every time she called, she would say, yes, I'll do it. Okay, I'll give you my time, not charging you, not you get 15 minutes and then after that, it's $150 for my time. None of that. Just spending time, giving them great ideas. They're leaving, they go prosper. Don't mention you at all. Mm-hmm. Nothing. You were never there. So what happened was she came back and said, she asked her, did you ever figure out what picks brains? And she said, no, I didn't. What is it? And she said, vultures pick brains. So from now on, I'm going to be your person. You send them through me and I'll find out what they want. And that way, when I put that, okay, well, you can have her for 15 minutes. Anything after that is $150. Fill out this form, tell us what you want, and then she can give you 15 minutes of her time. Now, everybody doesn't have that, but everybody's empowered to do that. So I'm saying that for a reason. The power of no is within your hands. And a lot of times when we're creating those great ideas, when we're being bold and acting fearlessly, we also don't understand that we have the power of no and the ability to synthesize the information that people want to do it. So create a Google form if you haven't already. A Google form that forces people to answer specific questions. And then in that Google form, you tell them you have 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you want to allocate. Everything, every hour, half hour after that is $100, $50, whatever. But put a dollar sign on your time and say no if you have to.
So I hope everybody caught that mic drop moment and don't act brand new when you get slapped with this Google form.
Google form, create a Google form. 15
don't
minutes.
Get mad when I send you the link.
You know, if people will pay for everything if it's somebody they know, but I don't understand how they won't pay for your time or your talent when it's someone they do know. It's just respectful, and it's a way to honor them in the efforts that they've placed in, you know, that they put in the work that they've put in. I have a mixtape that's the foundation, and I have an album. That's where I work, but it's all a part of my purpose, and I'm very proud of all of that. But
$sign on your time.
$sign on your
So
time.
how can people get in touch with you? How can they find you?
So we are on all social media platforms. You can find Redefining You Foundation on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. We are very, very active. So please like us, follow us, share all of that. You can find our website is redefinedfutureyou.org, redefinedfutureyou.org. There you can follow us and see what we have coming up. You can also make a donation to our foundation. All donations taken in go to help a woman veteran for her next. So definitely we appreciate that. And you can find me, Shellie Willis, on LinkedIn as well. You can also send a connection request and find me. And if you want me for public speaking or coaching or anything like that, I'll send you that Google form. You can request it and we will go from there.
The Google form. Well, thank you so much, Shellie. Thank you for joining us. Once again, I am Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. And like I mentioned once before, the 5 days of focus challenge, this time it is dedicated to our side hustlers. So if you are an aspiring corporate escape artist, you want to sign up for our challenge that starts on December 14th. And you can do that at successbully.com/challenge. Also look for a friend request from your concierge, Monica, or your concierge, Cece. We will guide you through the process. It's going to be a rocking good time come December 14th. This is a great time to reassess where you are in your business and start planning for 2021 so we can help you next level. It's your option if you want to transition out, but you want to have the option. All right. So once again, thank you, Shellie.
Thank you. And thank you, Cece and Monica. Thank you, ladies. Yes.
Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Stop the live stream. We're going to stop.